Hello, and welcome to The Gathering, a Magic podcast. My name's Stanley, and I'm here with some of my best friends and their cat to talk to you about our favorite game. Oh, Nick gave me the
I need to make
look.
one correction.
Okay.
Our cat is one of your best friends, so you didn't have to
See,
specify some of our best friends
I
and leave
thought
Silly
about
out to
that,
dry.
but for like the audio only listeners, I needed a way to mention Sully, you know?
Okay, I respect that. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well,
All right.
it's been mentioned now, so
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
good.
So as usual, we are a smooth transition podcast. So we have very smooth transitions. We like Magic the Gathering. We're going to talk about Magic the Gathering, but first, a word from today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Salsa Chicken. Salsa chicken, a meal so good that my wife made me a cup of tea and said, "Yeah, go have fun with your friends. I'll watch the baby. You record the podcast." Salsa chicken's great. I'm going to tell you my recipe because it's just that easy. I can fit it in an advertisement blurb. This isn't a real advertisement. Don't come at me, algorithm. Um, so we get our chicken from Costco. One little section of chicken breast, one little section of chicken thighs. Mix that together in the slow cooker. Large jar of salsa, can of beans, can of corn, and the secret ingredient: half a jar of your favorite pasta sauce. And it just, you put it in the slow cooker. I do it overnight. I just stick it on low around midnight, right before bed. And by the morning, the chicken just shreds as easy as can be. You fish those little chicken thigh bones out, mix in a pack of whatever cheese you like. Mwah. It's delicious. It's huge. It's less than $20 for an unimaginable amount of delicious, wet, flavorful chicken that you can use any way you want. My wife loves it with rice, little homemade Chipotle bowl. I like Mission corn tortilla chips. Mission, sponsor me. It's delicious. It's great. It's so much food. We're gonna eat good this week, and yeah, that's why we're here recording. The sun is out. It's amazing. Yeah. So that's my contribution. Now the real Magic players are gonna talk about their recent experiences playing Magic the Gathering.
Well, I think the furthest thing that happened away is me and Julianne both split the finals of an RCQ, which got Julianne her first invite and my second invite that I probably won't use anyway.
Woohoo!
Um, she was playing Crab's Main Prowess from Domosaurus, featured on Fire Shoes.
Let's go, Dom.
For context, why that's funny is because one of our friends played in Richmond and he ended up 5-0ing a one of those like LCQs or whatever they call them, the RCQs, I think. And then, of course, like Fire Shoes, Robert Taylor post on Twitter, like, oh, here's all the 5-0 deck lists, and then our friend's name in Melee is Domosaurus, and so he's like started freaking out Friday night. He's like, oh my gosh, my deck got posted on Fire Shoes, like, and I love how he uses it as a verb too, on Fire Shoes, like as if like Fire Shoes is not a person but like a website, you know? Oh, my deck list got leaked on Fire
He's
Shoes.
both. Fire Shoes transcends all. He is
Yeah,
everything.
no, he is for sure. And then our other friend who went Carson, he was like trying to console him, like, listen, like no one is going to know who you are tomorrow. Like no one's gonna like know what you're playing and like get you in the sideboard. And then round one of day one, Dom is playing against someone who boards in Soul Guide Lantern against him after playing 0 crabs in game one, and he's like, Dom wins the match. He's like, why did you burn in Soul Guide Lantern against me? Like, I was just playing Crabs. He's like, no, I saw you on Fire Shoes. You're playing Crabs main. So it was the funniest thing because like we're like, Dom, like that's not gonna matter. Trust me. And then like first round, he gets someone who gets him. But anyway, that was a list Julianne won with. I don't know if Julianne wants to speak any more to it before I talk about my bad deck.
Uh, Hot take, Elusive Otter is the worst card in Prowess. That's it.
We can leak that one since it's a incorrect statement. But,
There we go.
um, yeah, and then I played Grixis Monument,
Wait,
which
I'm
I
sorry.
was
Just quickly, Elusive Otter is great.
yeah.
Play 4 of them and play to kill your opponent. However, to just not completely diametrically oppose what Julian is saying, um, all Magic decks live on a spectrum, like most things these days, and prowess can be played at a lot of different speeds and tempos, if you will. So, with the way that Julianne plays Magic and played her prowess deck, it's perfectly reasonable and unshocking that she did not enjoy Elusive Otter. So I appreciate her perspective and completely see her winning and being like, why is this creature in my deck when I could be casting different spells?
Yeah, Julianne not having Elusive Otter in her deck is like 100% correct for her, but probably not for anyone else that plays Domosaurus featured on Fire Shoes Prowess.
What a deck name. You have to include that in the whole box if you're like registering this for an RCQ, by the way.
Yeah,
Well,
yes.
standard RCQ season is officially over.
Who said you can't register Domosaurus featured on Fire Shoes Prowess at your modern RCQs?
You could. You shouldn't, but you could.
And then the other deck I played for my invite was Grixis Monument, which I was holding kind of close to the chest while I tried to figure out if it's good or not. I think the deck sucks. I could understand why people couldn't beat me. I realized it was just me, and people just didn't understand what the deck could do. It was very cool, but it was also very rude.
Little rude.
Yeah, a little rude.
Pretty cool, pretty rude.
But yeah, I finally lost more games than I won this at this RCQ that I played this weekend. I was like, all right, fine, deck's bad. But
All it takes
yeah.
is one.
Yeah, all it takes is one. But,
Yeah, I agreed with that. Playing it a little bit as a little helper elf. Um, it's not my play style, so I was like a little bit fish out of water, but I even honestly I had a game where I was just like taking game actions, attacking, and then I was like, this deck kind of sucks. I'm not doing anything, and then I'm like, oh wait, my opponent's at 4, and I just killed them, and it was like funny, but I don't know, the deck is cool but rude.
the
It's
deck is basically Dimir midrange, where you only have one good magic card in your whole deck. And like if you draw it, your deck feels broken. But if you don't draw it, it's like I'm casting 3-mana 2/2s. Like
yeah. It felt like I was playing too many mid cards, and my mana base was like too mid. Like I couldn't imagine. Um, I don't know what I'm allowed to say or not say anymore, but I think we've kind of said stuff like this before, in that effectively Nick is so good that Nick does not need the deck to do the heavy lifting. He needs the deck to not fail, and he can do the heavy lifting. And there's just like a lot of ways that deck can fail when like being mid is kind of failure when you're taking a deck to the Pro Tour. So just like too many weak points to confidently say like, yeah, Nick, you should play this at the Pro Tour. Like if I was going to the Pro Tour and I was like, all right, the only way I'm gonna like win 10 matches is if I high roll people, then maybe I would like consider something more like that. But that's not Nick's game plan, so that's not it.
But it was fun, and it was a nice change of pace for sure. I had a very good time playing a really bad deck and beating people. Literally, someone made a comment to me at the RCQ this weekend, and they were like, I would have thought you would switch off this deck by now. I was like, yeah, well, maybe if you guys beat me, I would have, but no one can beat me, so I think it's broken. But then I played against like the best player in our area, and like he wiped the floor with me again, and I was like, all right. And then we had to talk about it. He was like, yeah, why are you still playing this deck? I'm like, because no one else could beat me with it. Like,
Was it Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which our match was actually very close, which was funny. I'm not going to go into too much detail because it doesn't really matter. But in our game 3, he like mulls to 5 playing the Momo deck and like doesn't do anything until turn 4. And my curve was turn 1 Mako, turn 3 Flamewake Phoenix, turn 4 Flamewake Phoenix. And then he won because his turn 4 play was Seamert my Mako, cast Sage of the Skies, and then Flamewake Phoenix has to attack, so that I had no way to kill a Sage of the Skies, so my deck's bad. So he just like double blocks and gains 4, and I'm like, cast a Riddler, and then I just like didn't really do anything the rest of the game.
That's so funny. That gave me flashbacks when you're like turn 3 cast Flame Wake, turn 4 cast Flame Wake. That gave me flashbacks to playing Hollow One at that RCQ in Modern. Like I think it was the previous season, but before like Cutter Prowess became a thing. And I think I top eight. Yeah, I top eighted in like one of my matches. I was like, dude, I just cast whatever that Phoenix name is. Like I paid 3 mana for 2 copies of it and killed my opponent. It's crazy how Modern's power level can be like people are doing insane broken things and like you effectively lost the game on turn two or actually lose the game on turn two. And sometimes it's like what's happening? Why did I just kill my opponent with a flying 2/2 on turn 8? Like what is this? Um that's the flashbacks I had, which are not like the vibes you want from your deck.
Yeah, it's funny how like 3 mana for Detectives Phoenix in Modern is like way better than 3 mana for Flaming Phoenix in Standard, which is like a crazy crazy thing to think about. But those like contextual format differences.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Anyone else care about standard?
I heard Jacob had a crazy experience at Nurse.
Yeah.
I played. So I actually made it to RCQs. I didn't qualify. I'm still going to DC. Determined. I don't know if I'm going to do anything in DC. I mean, I'm going to LCQ, but if I don't qualify for the RC, I don't know if I'm going to do anything else. But I played Lessons and got smoked in top 8. And then I got baited into playing the Grixis Monument deck by Sir Nicholas Odenheimer. To be fair, I say baited, but we definitely had a conversation like the day before where he's like, I don't actually know if this deck is good. And I was like, well, I was like, if I don't play against Prowess, I think we're fine. And then like my 2 losses when I like top 8 sounded, and then, I'm 9th place was, Prowess were my 2 losses. And then I played Prowess yesterday, and I should have just played it the whole season because I went win-win, drew with my buddy in round 3, poked my round 4 opponent, drew in round 5, and then like lost to my round 2 opponent who's like also a good friend of mine. But round 4, I played the most non-game of Magic I can like recall since like playing in a tournament, which was like 2013, so what, 13 years ago, where I played against what I assume to be stock green black mid range in the year of our Lord 2026. Game 1, they cast nothing on turn 1, they cast an elf on turn 1 of the Llanowar variety. On turn 2, they did nothing. They played a tap land. On turn 3, they played a Lord Skitter. Oh, no, that was game 2. Game 1, they played an elf. Game 2, turn 1, they played an elf. Turn 2, they played nothing. Turn 3, they played nothing. Turn 4, they played an Elegy Acolyte. Turn 5, they played an Elegy Acolyte, and they died. Game 2, they went turn 1 Duress, turn 2 Duress, turn 3 Lord Skitter, turn 4, what's the 4 mana 5/4 Leatherhead, right? Is the 5/4 that has hexproof?
Yeah.
They went turn 4 Leatherhead, it died, and then they played turn 5 Leatherhead, and then it died, and then they proceeded to die the next turn. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 individual. Oh, they put a Shoot at the Sheriff somewhere in there. So like 7 individually different cards, like 10 total cards were cast in 2 games, and I was just like. I think game 1 I cast 25 spells. Game 2 I cast around that. I was just taking game actions. I felt pretty bad. But I also feel like the entire Swiss I was just drawing like out of my mind. Like I kept a 1-lander in like one of my games where it was like Multiversal Passage, double Boomerang Basics, double Storm Chaser's Talent, Burst Lightning, and then I just like didn't draw a land for 2 turns, but I just kept drawing Boomerang Basics. So I was like, oh, this is pretty good. So I just like kept putting Otters into play, kept attacking. My opponent didn't have a board wipe. I was like, oh, this deck's sick. And then Nick and I had a conversation about like my game 3 hand in like the quarterfinals, which was like arguable if I should have kept it or not. I think the ceiling was pretty high on it. I think I got unlucky in like not ripping a 3rd land to cast stock up on turn 3, but stuff happens. Excited for Modern season. I kept on the play double Multiversal Passage, double stock up, Storm Chaser's Burst Lightning Floodmaw. There's like an argument to not have Floodmaw on the deck, so like kind of, but I got like mixed signals in game two. And I was playing the mirror. So they were like very aggressive in game two. So I was like, well, like I have a little bit of pressure. I can, pressure their creatures. If I had a third land on curve, I think we like casting stock up's really good, and then chaining stock ups is good. And then my thought process was like, if I draw, Boomerang Basics or Opt or Sleight of Hand, I can dig plus put more pressure into play. And I drew Sleight of Hand for my first draw step on turn two. Looked at two cards, either them were a land or a Boomerang Basics or anything circumstantial. And then I think I Sleight of Handed into Sleight of Hand. And then the next turn I cast Sleight of Hand, still didn't see a third land. And then turn four, I drew the third land after my opponent already resolved stock up. And I was like, I think I'm going to lose this game. And then the game ended.
Able to cast both Sleight of Hands on turn two.
Because I had to play a Multiversal Passage on red, but
Pointing at Nick. I don't know if I'm actually pointing at Nick, but I'm attempting to point at Nick.
I think
Nick's
doing
gonna
that
stay
is bait.
on mute, and I'm not gonna. Honestly, I'm not. I'm just gonna not. Jacob, it's okay. I'm not. It's not you. It's not you. I'm not saying. It's just an example of a thing that I was talking about recently. That's it.
What? Don't put Multiversal Passage any color except for the main color of your deck.
No.
It's
Funny
It's
okay. It's not. No. I don't.
We're not going to beat a dead horse, but if you look at the prowess deck, it plays 8 red cards in its main deck total. 9 or 10 depending on how many wild rides you play. So I think I should have just done the math and been like, well, I have this Flood Maw, so who really cares? But in my head, I was like, I would rather Burst Lightning a Slick Shot, which is what I did, right? He just like played a blind Slick Shot and I killed it. So upside. And my third land was just a basic island anyways, so I wouldn't have had a red source had I not played it on red, but it definitely screwed me on turn two, right?
Passage.
You rage baited him so hard. It's crazy.
I didn't mean to. We just like have to keep secrets now because of this, Bozo Pro player. So I
Stanley's my little helper elf, so
just like a talk about this offline kind of conversation type thing.
Yeah.
I'll
Okay,
fill you in later.
It's not a secret from you. It's not like it's just like yeah. But it's just an example of a thing that I was saying. Anyway, and
then the only other
with the like tools you had available, definitely you like have to put it on blue, and like you cast your second slight and you find your third land on time, and then like you don't have a red source yet, but like with the tools available, you kind of have to value like that. Plus, in theory, you're playing like really optimally, and you cast your Sleight of Hand before you put Multiversal Passage in hand, so you knew that like, okay, well, I didn't find my land, but I have another Sleight, so I can choose blue again and hopefully slide into that third land and hope it's a what's it called? The Spiral Bluff Canal. Or the other dual land, River Pirate Birch. Anyway, standards in the rearview mirror for most of us, but it's coming back soon. I see Nick doing those RCs in May are going to come up fast face. But for now, we're jonesing for modern, man. Give me the modern. I want it. You want it. We all want it. If you don't want it, you want it. You just don't know you want it. Modern is it. Modern is him. It's time. Jacob, you were saying you're excited for modern when I hopped in and asked you about that hand. Do you wanna continue that stream of thought?
Well, I saw a cool deck list the other day, and Nick and I were talking about it, and then I played a league and went 1-4 with it, which was hilarious. But I was like, I'm a big Affinity gamer. I don't know if I'm gonna play it this season, but we were looking at a list that plays Surveillance Cam with Arcbound Ravager plus an Emery can go infinite if you have a Mox Opal in play. And then with Ravenous Robots at the end of the loop, you can make like 1,000,000 robots and then float a red and give them all haste and then kill your opponent that way. So it was cool. I don't know if it's like good. It's like the Grinding Station deck that plays Surveillance Cam with the same combo. I don't know if that's real.
I forgot to tell you guys. I played against someone who was playing the like sewer cam combo, but in a like cutter deck, which I thought was kind of cool. And I asked them for their deck list, and they were like, "Yeah, I'll copy it into chat after the match." But it must have been the last match of their league where like after that match you don't get access to chat because moto reasons. So I didn't end up being able to get the list off him. But actually, egg on my face, I cast surgical extraction during during game two, and he in chat is like, "LOL, that's one way to get the deck list." But I chose the cards too quick. I didn't even think of that. I could have just screenshotted his deck, which I guess is something that I should do every time I cast surgical when I'm playing on Moto. Is like screenshot my opponent's deck so that I have that free information. Like pro tip when you're playing Moto to prepare for Modern, I guess. But yeah, I fumbled that, but it was kind of cool. It was like, the blue red cutter blade, whatever they call that deck that the brother played in Vegas. Nick, help me with the words that I'm dropping.
Yeah. The list by Puglisi, who got to the finals of
Metalcraft.
RC Vegas. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, is it Metalcraft's a really stupid name because it doesn't put any cards with Metalcraft in it? But well, wait, never mind. That's Affinity. Sorry, I got the words mixed up. But yeah, but I did see that deck on Twitter, so I don't think it'd be very hard to find.
Okay, yeah. I thought that was kind of cool. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, any deck with cutter, I'm like, ooh, blue red cutter, let's go. So if you can, like, plan A is do the sewer cam combo, and then plan B is like kill you with cutter. That's pretty cool because obviously I did not sideboard to try and beat a cutter deck, and then cutter bobble came down on turn two, and I was like, hello, sir. The game has changed. I see. Like closed deck list at RCQs, that seems like particularly hot.
The card surveillance cam has like super impressed me. Like, I don't know. I haven't played the card in Pauper or anything like that, but like even anytime I just like cast it, like I played in that league, I played against like Blue Bike Murktide, and they like went all in on this Murktide. I like at instant speed flashed in the cam, tapped it down.
Wait, did
and
you
then,
say blue white Murktide?
No, blue black.
Oh.
And then they would attack again. I sacked the cam to Ravager, tapped it down again, and then next turn Emery brought it back. And then it's just like in constant loop of like I didn't have like the full engine, but like I have the ability to like just buy time over and over again. And the worst comes to worst, you float out and you sack it for 4 mana and draw 2 cards. So card has definitely impressed me a lot. I don't know. Probably just gonna be a Boros gamer. Boros Basement lives on. I don't know. I want to cast the card Screaming Nemesis again, so that card's pretty good in the mirror, or so I've heard. So maybe I'll jam some of those because Boros Energy's a big player in the Northeast. A lot of people like playing Boros Energy. Or I'll just play Titan. I don't know. We'll see. I don't really care. I'm gonna win something with something. Ham sandwich.
Ham sandwich. Okay. Wow.
Man.
The ego spiked real quick.
Yeah, we went from
we went from 1-4 to league to
I didn't qualify. I'm gonna go to DC anyway. I don't know what I'm gonna play. I won 4 to league, but I'll win a modern RCQ with a ham sandwich as I beat my desk into submission.
Hey, I like the confidence. I appreciate it.
Me too. I also like Screaming Nemesis. I tried to force Screaming Nemesis into my prowess deck because just like Screaming Nemesis plus Academic Dispute is so funny. Like force your Sire of 7 Deaths to block. Here comes Screaming Nemesis. It's just so funny, but it's like it's too much mana for modern prowess. Like every time I cast it like once or twice, and it was like. I really wish this was a different card. And there was another time where I was like, Nemesis would actually be pretty good here. But if I don't cast Nemesis and cast these other spells, my opponent dies. So I guess I'm not going to cast Nemesis. But I feel that. I guess that's where we say, I hope Pioneer comes back, because Nemesis is a queen in Pioneer. She's fantastic in that Pioneer prowess with Academic Dispute.
Of course, still kind of just getting banned and Pioneer on Monday, so
No,
it doesn't
it's
matter.
not.
Yeah,
Stop.
100%. It's 18% of the metagame. What are we talking about?
All right, we're not gonna go down the rabbit hole talking about BNR because by the time this comes out, the BNR will already happened.
Yeah, I'll be right.
No, that's less than the meta percentage of Boros Energy. So you think Boros Energy is going to catch a ban too?
There's like a thought in my head that it might, but I don't know.
Okay,
Probably not.
so Boros Energy has a bigger meta percentage, but Prowess is like a guaranteed ban, while Boros Energy is
Why-
like, well, maybe.
I mean, I
Why
don't
are
think
we
Boros
talking
Synergy.
about the fake format though? Like who plays Pioneer? Like
we
That's
get
actually so fair.
we get this like nostalgia kick from talking about Pioneer. Pioneer makes people happy. We can give Pioneer, 3 minutes, and the people will go, "Oh yeah, Pioneer! I remember that format. I hope they bring it back."
No, honestly, every couple of months I get into a conversation with someone about Pioneer, and we always talk about how Pioneer was really good when the the last RCs for Pioneer happened. The format was great. RCGC, amazing Pioneer format. RC Prague afterward, amazing Pioneer format. That's when they chose to kill it, which is like the most absurd thing because you could argue for the whole life of Pioneer that the format was actual trash, right? But then somehow, some way, it became really, really good. It was cool. It was diverse. You saw like Rakdos Transmogrify just appear and like win the whole event when like the other opponent was the tree deck. Like,
Oh yeah, Trade Perdition.
yeah, is it Phoenix was good? Like,
C-Mac.
yeah, that's right. That's when he like made his debut. I think.
Yeah.
Blue Eye Control was great in that format, which is like I think a sign of format health. Like, format was awesome. It was really, really good. And then that's when they decided
They're like, this format is
we're
great.
done.
Ban it. Honestly,
Yeah.
it really helps all the people with the conspiracy theory that Wizards is trying to like kill competitive play, that they were like, oh, this format's too good. Get it out of the rotation. Because I've pulled up MTG Goldfish, and not only... So, yeah, Prowess is 18% of the meta. Greasefang, 16.5% of the meta. Mono Red with no Steel Cutters, 13% of the meta. Golgari mid-range of all decks, 9% of the meta. And actually, the fifth deck is another Greasefang deck at 7% of the meta. So there is more Greasefang than Steel Cutters in being played in Pioneer right now. So if they like ban Steel Cutter from Pioneer or any card from Is It Prowess, it's just the continuation of like the BNR team's hate crusade against good red cards. Like the people who make cards are like, yeah, red's great. Let's print Monstrous Rage and these other cool cards and give red counterplay. And then the people on the BNR team are like, no. We want counterplay, but not like that. Not red is play. Everybody else is counterplay. So, like, yeah. Steel Cutter's fine. Pioneer, we miss you.
Pioneer not fine. Pioneer on its deathbed.
Honestly, Pioneer is like
Not because they deserve it or don't deserve it, but
Yeah.
they're just factually on their deathbed.
yeah. If anybody's not okay, it's Pioneer. Like somebody do a welfare check.
What was it? So like I know people are talking about Pioneer got no spotlight this year, which was like the second sign. They didn't get an RCQ format, which was like the first sign. But then the third sign, which I think is actually like the most convincing sign that no one's like thinking about, is it didn't have like a Pioneer Cup at this MagicCon. Like they've always done a Pioneer Cup, and they do a format cup for like the most obscure things. Like there's a Pauper one, there's a Dual Commander one. There a ton of formats, but
Like
Pioneer they chose to remove, which like that to me says okay, WotC's actually done with this format because like they'll do it for all these different formats, but like they chose to take it away for that one. It's like that's that's the tell to me. So,
Yeah, and
It-
I
it
think
is-
they stopped doing super RCQs for Pioneer as well. There was a time not that long ago where like all three formats had super RCQs on Sunday at the SCG cons, and they do not do them anymore. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to double check.
yeah, that's I guess like SCG Con's call at least, like not WotC's call. Because I know there were like at the Burton Memorial thing they did, they had like a Pioneer 2K RCQ there. They had like 67 people, which I'm not sure if that's like actually good or bad for like the amount of people that show up for that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah,
It
they
is.
stopped
It
doing them.
doesn't make a lot of sense to me because it's like if the business model is like I want to sell as much product as possible. Like we were having 7 sets come out this year, right? I'm excited for like the Magic story ones and the Hobbit, and that's it. I don't care about any of the other ones. But like I don't understand why you would have Modern over Pioneer, right? Like Modern doesn't sell packs. The only card that I can think of recently that's Modern playable is Quantum Riddler. Is the only one. Like, and you guys can fact check me on that. Like, I don't remember. I mean, Steel Cutter, I
Sewer
guess. Too.
surveillance camera.
Okay, so what a mythic, a rare, and a common, right? So, but from Pioneer is standard, like
It's
expanded,
the conspiracy
right? So
theorists are right. The format was too good. Got cut. It was too good.
No, I mean, I don't actually agree with that. I don't think it's fair to say that there haven't been any good cards for Modern and Standard sets. I mean,
Voice of Victory.
Roku, Voice of Victory, Quantum Riddler, Sewer Surveillance Camera, Krang,
Clarion
Ravenous
Conqueror.
Robots, Pinnacle
Heinen.
Emissary. Those are like all cards I just thought of at the top of my head that like
I'm
all
cheating.
were good without even looking at.
I'm looking at Goldfish.
Yeah,
I wasn't
but
even
I'm
looking.
saying this as like how many cards have come out since Pioneer got put on the ban list, the format, in total, and how many new cards are actually seeing play in the format Modern versus how many cards are seeing play in the format
Heroes
Pioneer.
Hangout. Got to sell those
That's-
Spider-Man packs.
All right, now we're stretching.
Yeah,
it.
we're in the
Now
weeds
stretching it.
right now.
It's Ruby Storm. Look, this is
Yeah, that
the
deck's not
first
real.
deck on the third, the first deck list of the number 3 deck. Let's take it
Okay,
easy.
I didn't
on
actually
Steve.
know that. I didn't actually know
Do you
that.
think they're just?
Ruby Storm is
I mean,
playing.
I think I've said it before. I'll say it again. I feel they're just trying to get where it's all standard. I mean, we're talking about Modern. We have a Modern RCQ season coming up, but how many standard seasons did we have before we had this Modern season? And we're going right back into standard after it.
Weapons
we-
That's not true.
manufacturing.
That's not
Fake
true.
fake news media.
The only RCQ format that has been confirmed is Modern season 5 round 1. If you hear anything else, someone is lying to you. That's
I
not
know
true.
Julianne was going to hop all over that because we just had a conversation about this yesterday where she was like, these people in the Discord are like bothering Jared about the next format being
They, like-
Modern. And they're like, and Jared you can tell the story.
So like people were talking about someone asked to confirm because Spike's chat was saying that Modern was like the next 2 seasons, and so someone posted the article that got published, and people were mixing up the fact that the RCQ season, the upcoming RCQ season is Modern, which feeds into Modern RCs. So they were looking at the RC date and they were like, oh, that's the RCQ. But Qualifier was missing from that title.
Yeah, a lot of people got gaslit like that. Like we talked to a lot of people. I had I'll leave my friend anonymous, but I had a friend in the UK who was like, "Oh, you won't believe it. Like everyone I talked to was like, we don't know the thing yet, but I was like, we do. It's in the article. And I just want to tell you about it because I know you can read. So like, I know you have good reading comprehension or whatever. So I knew you would understand my pain." And I like took a screenshot. I was like, "I don't know, buddy. I'm pretty sure we don't know." And he's like, "Oh, I missed that it was the regional championship, not the regional championship." But it was.
At least you got a free compliment out of it. It was like,
I
oh, you have
did,
high
I
IQ,
did,
you have
like-
good reading comprehension skills, fully developed, prefrontal lobe.
I'm gonna
like,
confide my frustration in you because I know you can read too. And I'm like, well, maybe chop the 2 off.
All I know is I'm going to look and see if Kalshi will let me put a couple bucks down on the next season being standard. See if I can make a couple bucks.
can I ask judge questions in here?
Well, hold on. We're not done.
Okay.
So, recently printed cards. You're an Affinity gamer, right? 4 Pinnacle Emissary, 4 Weapons Manufacturing. Okay, proceed.
I mean, I agree that I'm glad that there are sets that are bringing like Jeskai Blink is like a new-ish archetype, or the Blink strategy, the
Oh,
Quantum
Formidable
Riddler.
Speaker and the Elementals. They're seeing some action.
Yeah, Elementals and Living In, which is cool. Like, I'm not saying that like there are not playable cards from new sets in Modern, but what I am saying is like I think if you look at how many cards have been printed since Pioneer, like has stopped being, which that was 2024. That was the end of 2024 that happened, right? So like if it's been nearly 2 years, or approaching 2 years since, and how many cards have been printed? There's really not that many cards that have like made a sizable impact on Modern, besides
I
a
think
bunch of
that,
cards from
like,
Edge of
yeah.
Eternities.
So hold on. Let's pause for a second. I know the point that you're trying to make, but the point that you're actually making is kind of like 6 degrees to the left of it, and that's why Nick is making the face. The point is that, like, a lot more recent cards affect Pioneer. So, like, if it was all about money and it was all about getting people to open packs, like, Pioneer would be a more of a product enabler than Modern. That's kind of what you initially said. That's like true for sure. Like, Pioneer is a souped up version of Standard. It's going to play a lot of the new cards. It's going to be a product enabler. And the thing is, it has like some unique archetypes like Greasefang, and Nivtalite is apparently like the number 7 deck. Like, there's decks doing different things than Standard, and so you would like sell more of the recently printed cards. I don't think we need to get in the weeds of like I think Wizards has actually done a really good job of like a pretty reasonable pace of cards are making it into Modern. Like, I don't want to say it's 1% or whatever, but like Edge of Eternities, Pinnacle Emissary, Weapons Manufacturing, um, Quantum Riddler, and then the Elementals recently. So like, honestly, from like a gameplay format health perspective, like, new product and Modern have a fantastic relationship. From a like, why are they killing Pioneer when it could make them money? Who knows? It's kind of crazy, but I think you were gonna make a different point before I interrupted you with no. Okay, sorry.
No, I think like this like just means that, I mean, I don't like saying that certain corporations in the world aren't like greedy and just only care about profit margins, but like if that was true, I think Pioneer would see more support, because it would probably sell more packs or more sealed product, which is what a lot of people buy. It's like a greater, easier barrier for entry for people in the Standard, because people are like, oh, if I buy these Standard cards, then like I know my cards are probably playable when Pioneer season comes around, X, Y, and Z, which is super nice. But I don't know. I don't really know what the organized play, like what their thought process on this is. I know we have like rotation coming up like soonish for Standard, right? Is it next year? 2027?
Yeah.
Sorry, 2027?
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know if they'll actually do like rotation Standard season for the next like confirmed RCQ season at the end of the year, or if they'll do a something else and then start the next season like at rotation. I think it would be kind of weird to have like a season that runs like with a rotation in the middle for Standard. I mean, they might. Who knows? You kind of get like mini rotations when they ban cards in Standard, which used to not be a thing, but
Do we think anything's getting banned from Standard?
no. I think the format's like pretty checked and balanced as is. I mean, but we know what's gonna happen. Like they're gonna say that like everything's fine and dandy. They're gonna ban Hired Claw. So
I agree.
who knows?
Get on Kalashi or whatever, Ron.
Yeah, judge question.
Make a buck. Make a buck.
Judge question. That's the thing
Yeah.
that got interrupted. Sorry.
Yeah. So when you miracle a card, stay with me now. Is it in your hand?
Okay, I asked Nick this earlier.
I'm trying to find out if this 5-mana dragon's playable or not.
It is in your hand, because you have to draw the card.
It's
and
in your
draw
draw
the
step,
card.
correct?
Well, yeah,
Technically-
you have to cast it in your draw step, but you have to actually draw the card, and like the act of drawing a card puts in your
Yeah.
hand.
Miracle says you may cast this card for its miracle cost when you draw it if it's the first card you drew this turn. So it's not like Madness where it says like exile it instead of discarding it or whatever.
Well,
It doesn't
I say
modify
this
the game action.
because like with miracle cards, you have to. Well, you don't have to, but like it is highly, highly recommended that like the way you draw cards for turn is completely different than how you would if you had like not miracles in your deck, right? So every time you see people play with miracles, they like loot the top card and they just like flip their card over and they're like, oh, here's an Entreat the Angels for 7, right? Whereas like
Yeah,
you know,
I think that's just a. I was gonna say, I think that's just like a formality thing, so that your opponent knows it actually was the first card you draw.
Yeah.
Because I think, like in a perfect world, right, like if everyone told the truth, you like draw the card, put it in your hand, you're like, oh, this is the first card I drew, and then you put it on the table, and your opponent's like, oh, you're so good, But like, obviously, we don't live in that world. So
yeah, but now we have a card that says every instant and sorcerer in your hand has miracle for 2, right? So it's like,
what is it?
yeah.
Yeah, what is this card that you're talking about?
What are you talking about?
Lorehold the Historian out of Strixhaven.
Is that the Boros guy?
Yeah, Boros
Wait,
Dragon.
Strixhaven
Yeah.
spoilers started. Is it over for me?
This
No.
came out like months ago.
There's like 5 cards that have been spoiled. This is some Boros
Honestly, I'm not even
Dragon
Googling it. It's okay.
thing.
Each instant and sorcery card in your hand has Miracle 2 colorless mana. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. So, effectively, the first instant, if the first spell you cast each turn is an instant or sorcery. No, it's not even that. So, each instant you may cast.
It's just if the first card you drew in a turn is an instant
Okay.
sorcery, it has a miracle. That's all.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
so it doesn't matter. Wouldn't really affect any of the cards that are already in your hand. It would only affect your first draw step still. Yeah.
Yep.
Or first draw. If you like opt in your upkeep, it'll do that.
Yep.
Yeah. Weird. I don't know. It costs 5 mana. Isn't Into the Floodmaw and Bounce Off in the format? Like, what are we doing?
Pre-modern?
It might be a thing. I don't know. I can't evaluate
Oh.
cards that cost that much mana.
Are we talking about pre-modern now, Jacob? Was that the...
Yeah, I feel like I yapped a lot, and it's not my podcast, and I'm actually genuinely interested on hearing about this new experience that you had the other day.
Alright, hold on. Let me find my mute button real quick.
Yeah, you're not going to talk for a while, so... I was baited by... Well, not baited, but one of our friends has been really pushing me to play pre-modern with him, and we weren't really doing anything yesterday. We didn't really want to go to the RCQ again, because, I can play Standard and Arena if I want to. But, so yeah, I went out to play pre-modern with him. He handed me a deck. I literally have never read any of the cards in my deck, so I didn't even know what I was playing. He just handed it to me. I ended up playing a blue-white control deck where the only win condition was Psychotog, which is notably a black card. And while I consider myself a Magic boomer, I didn't actually know Psychotog was a card before. So I learned that Psychotog was what Psychic Frog was based off of, which I had no idea. So I learned that. And yeah, I high rolled a little bit because my round 1 opponent had to leave early. So they gave me the win, but we played for fun. Literally, I didn't look at my deck before we played, so I kind of scrolled, okay, Island, Psychotog, okay, I understand the concepts. Playing with this card for the very first time, my first round, he, demolishes me, and he's like, alright, you can have the win, and I was like, okay. So that was, my warm-up round. But yeah, then I end up not losing another round after that, because, I don't know, competency. But yeah, the format's pretty weird. It's kind of strange how all of the spells are kind of broken. If you look at my Twitter post, I make a comment about how, Mox Diamond, Gush, and Swords of Plowshares are all legal cards that are in my deck. Yet, like, the best threat I could play was a 3-mana 1/2 that's not in my colors, which is, like, kind of funny when you think about it. And truly, I think that was kind of, like, the thing I was noticing as I was playing. Like, people were casting creatures that were just, like, the most heinous pieces of garbage I've ever seen. Like, I played against Golgari mid-range in round 3, and their threats were Ravenous Rats, Yavimaya Elder, 2-mana 1/1, 3-mana 2/1, and then Graveborn Muse, which was a 4-mana 3/3. Like, these are the 3 threats they cast, and the one threat they actually were beating down with was a Treetop Village. It was like, that card's at least, I've seen that card before, that card's pretty good, but the land creature's better than the regular creatures, you know?
It sounds kind of like the opposite of Pauper. When you handed me the deck for the Pauper 1K, and I was like, all right, let's play Magic. I was shocked and delighted by how terrible my opponent's interaction was. Like, I put the 1/2 or 2/2 or whatever in play, and I'd be like, all right, here comes a shock or something. Nope, no 1-mana removal. All right, cool. Like, this is great. My stuff just doesn't die. It's fantastic. This sounds like the opposite of that. Your spells are kind of broken and your threats are.
Yeah, and like the mana bases are even weird too, because like in your mana bases you have like Wasteland is legal, Ancient Tomb is legal.
I'm out.
Rishadan Port is legal. But then like
Wasteland is heinous. Wasteland is so toxic.
So this is an important conversation too, because I was talking to like a pre-modern like only player, I guess, because those exist, and I was talking to a good friend of mine. I'm not like calling him out, but anyway, I was talking to him, and we were talking about how like mana bases aren't actually that bad. The part that's bad is how much mana denial exists for how like average the mana bases are, because like I think the only duels in the format realistically are Pain Lands and fetches, but then you don't have any duels to fetch off your fetches, so you can only get like Plains or Island off your Flooded Strand, right? And then like City of Brass is legal. So like this is the extent of your mana base. You play like 8 Pain Lands and then fetches, right, for your 2-color mana base. But then the trade-off is like people can Wasteland you, they can Rishadan Port your lands. Armageddon was in my deck. I was playing Armageddon. I was like, okay, like sure. I was playing against another one of our friends, and I was legitimately worried that he was going to burn me out because I drew triple City of Brass, and I was just having to, like, play around his, like, 4 Lightning Bolt deck while I was at 8 life, because I was just like, I don't want to die. And then in the finals, I played against a deck that was playing Winter Orb, which is you can only untap 1 land every turn, in combination with Rishadan Port. So then the idea is they like lock you out of the game because like you untap your land and then on your upkeep they tap your land. But luckily, I don't know if like Mike is a genius when he was like handing me this deck or what, but like my deck was like 4 Mox Diamonds, which isn't affected by Wasteland, Rishadan Port, or Winter Orb. So I just like had the mana advantage on my opponent actually.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that. Yeah. Like, I want to play Magic. If I sit down to play Magic, and the purpose of your deck is to, like, not allow me to play Magic, then we're not friends. And, I don't mean control decks, right? Because control decks are like, I'm going to play Magic with you, and I'm going to, like, counter your stuff, I'm going to kill your stuff. Like, we're going to play Magic together. But my like game plan is to stop you from implementing your game plan. But like land destruction is just like, you're not gonna play the game at all. Nah, not for me.
Yeah,
not for me.
Yeah, you know, like every game I played was like I described them as scrappy, where like I was doing like nothing really powerful, my opponent was doing nothing really powerful, like. He destroyed one of my lands, I destroyed all of the lands, and then, like, I couldn't even win still, so then we just, like, kept playing, like, lands that we drew from the top of our deck. I kept a 2-lander with a Mox Diamond against one of my opponents, and I decided to, like, discard my land to my Mox Diamond so that I could play around, like, him wastelanding me, so I kept, like, an actual land in play. Or, like, the Mox Diamond in play, and then he casts main deck Disenchant on my Mox Diamond. I'm like, okay, now we're, like, back to step 1.
Not me reading
But-
Mox Diamond right now.
Mox Diamond is actually casting that card was very cool. But for all the viewers at home, it's a 0 mana artifact like Moxen that says when it comes into play, you have to discard a land in order to like keep it in play. So like the card's actually pretty solid in this format. But like when I was playing Armageddon, the idea was like, okay, you're gonna have 2 Mox Diamonds in play, so when you Armageddon, like you have 2 lands to your opponent's 0. So like I don't know, the format was doing like cool things, I guess. Like it was interesting to like play something new, but pretty much all of my opponent's decks were just like lock you out of the game decks. And like my deck was like also trying to do that. Which I don't know. I would probably not play the format consistently, but like I understand the people who really like it because like it's an obvious nostalgia hit for them. But like I'm kind of in the weird zone of Magic Boomer where like I'm a Magic Boomer compared to everyone else who's played Magic, but I'm not that much of a Magic Boomer where like casting my 3 mana 1/2 does not excite me very much, but like casting my Olivia Voldaren, that's pretty cool, you know. But like
Is Fire Blast in the
Psychotog-
format?
I don't know.
I'm
it
seeing
is.
the
It is.
guesses.
It is. Yeah, because I round 1 I played against Mono Red Burn and I duressed my opponent and they had Fire Blast and I was like, oh, I know what that card does. I play Pauper and I didn't know any other cards. So
Yeah, you're gonna
I learned there was a
Armageddon.
ban.
You want to destroy my land? Nah, I destroy
Yeah.
it myself.
I think the cool part of the format for people like Nick and I, who like, I mean, we started playing young, but like we are both pretty young too. So like we didn't play when like we weren't alive when these cards came out, but like you get to see cards like Pyrostatic Pillar, which is like, you know, I remember like starting to play Magic when the card Eidolon of the Great Revel came out. And like it is based off Pyrostatic Pillar, I'm pretty sure it's called. Like that enchantment, Psychotog, right? Psychic Frog is based off Psychotog, like stuff like that, which I think that's pretty cool. But also like I think the barrier for entry for the format is like kind of bad right now. I feel like the tournaments you're going to is not proxy friendly because like you have all these cards that are like literally worth $0.
Wait, yeah,
Like-
was this the tournament where if you have proxies, it's $10 to play, but if you don't have proxies, it's $5 to play?
Yeah, basically. $5
Yeah.
more for entry if you have proxies in your deck, which I think is such a stupid concept.
That's
Either
so
allow them or
toxic.
don't. You know, it's like
That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure the extra $5 like went into the prize pool at least. Was like that's like the only good part about it. Like the store we go to doesn't keep any of the money they get in. Like 100% of their like entry goes back into the prize pool. So like that's a nice part about it. But yeah, they did charge more for proxies.
That's wild. Light up the comments section. Let's go viral. Tell us how you feel about that. I'm in a.
But
I'm
All I know is I
today.
probably read at least one copy of War and Peace of text trying to figure out what all these cards did.
Oh, you were there too, Ron?
yeah. I was playing this Stifle deck.
Stifle.
Yeah,
You're telling
Stifle
me
Knot.
somebody there was playing Mono Red Burn and it wasn't you?
Yeah, I was
That's
playing
a
a
real
mono
bummer,
blue
man.
deck.
Mono.
A mono blue.
Who
deck.
authorized this?
Yeah, I know.
I think it's more on brand for Ron to put 1 mana 12/12s of trample in play than play the mono red deck in. Like the mono red deck in pre-modern, like all of them are like actually scrappy. You're like you're digging to like actually get wins with these decks because you're like these cards are so you're casting Incinerate. I know you don't know what that card does. You're casting, you know, these cards are you know what Ancient Scroll does? Yeah,
Nope.
you're casting that card. Or you can play goblins, right? And
Dude,
you're like, dang, these goblins are
I read Curse Scroll because one of our friends was talking about it as we were like, oh, should I buy a Curse Scroll on my way out? It's like $75. I really want one. I was like, no. I didn't know what this card did though. I go home and I look up Curse Scroll. I'm like, this is the worst card I have ever read, let alone the fact it is $75. It's like a 1 mana artifact. You spend 3, you name a card, spend 3, tap it, name a card. Your opponent randomly picks a card from your hand, and if the card they picked was that card, get this, you deal 2 damage.
Okay.
That's what this card does. Like,
So round 1, I played against Mono Red. They had Fire Blast. They had all these like scrappy creatures. They had Curse Scroll, right? And I did not die until like turn 10 at least, game one. And
Hey,
life
but you died.
it was like 6 them, 5 me, and they ended up killing me by like having no cards. I pass the turn, they draw, activate curse scroll, name lightning bolt, reveal lightning bolt, like take 2, take 3.
Yeah.
But
Stanley's like, I like this format now.
It's so scrappy. Like your best threat in Mono Red is like what, like Mog Fanatic and
Yeah,
Jack
Raging Goblin.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
we just
Raging
had
Goblin,
1 mana,
two
1/1
ring.
haste. Like,
Yeah,
Ball
they-
Lightning. Ball
Good
Lightning's like an
stats.
insane threat. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have like Oath of Druids putting like a Terravore into play, like making it ginormous, like after they sack all their lands to it. And you're
Ball
and the-
Lightning, Grim
Yeah.
Lava Mancer, Jackal
the format like definitely it makes me like want to try it because like I mean I saw a sick list like Jeskai mid range playing like Lightning Angel, like which I think is like a super cool
Lava
card.
Dart is in the format.
Yeah.
Y'all.
I want to cast a card
Y'all
Cabal
buried the
Therapy
lead.
again. Cabal
There's a
Therapy is
lot of
legal in
great
that
red
format.
cards in this
Like
format.
Speaking of Cabal Therapy, it's hilarious because I was looking at Julianne's deck list with Cabal Therapy, and I was like, I'm so glad I'm not playing that card because I was
That
like,
card-
if I
sucked. It was terrible. I hated it. I had I got handed a deck and I was just there. I was here for the vibes. So I got handed a deck. I didn't even look at it. I like looked at some example deck list online on the way there. Didn't play any games with this deck before. I shuffle up. Round 1, game 1, my opening 7 has Cabal Therapy in it, and I'm just sitting there the whole game. Like, I have no idea. I'm like, does this deck play Lightning Bolt? Like, I'm playing against Mono Red, but none of the creatures, like none of the cards they've casted I've ever seen before. I'm like, I just sat on it for the whole game.
you know, I also learned there was a ban list in pre-modern. So I didn't know that existed either because I was like, yeah, so what's the thing? Like, for some reason, Force of Will isn't legal. It's like the set after. They're like, no, Force of Will is banned. I was like, they ban cards in pre-modern? Like, okay, cool.
Dude, this mono red burn deck looks insane. I'm so in. I mean, I'm a little worried about all the like land destruction making me crash out. Sulfuric Vortex, 3 mana. Each player takes 2 in their upkeep. And get this: if a player would gain life, that player gains no life instead. I love the way old cards are worded sometimes. Like, that's such a. If a player would gain life, they would gain no life instead.
That's like the
Price of Progress? I guess Price of Progress is like not that great in the format, but it's just cool that
someone
it's there.
asked, because there's like an angel that it basically has lifelink, but it doesn't have lifelink because it's like worded like when this deals damage, you gain that much life or something. And the life totals must have been pretty close because they turned to my opponent at the time who has played pre-modern before and was like, so this uses the stack, right? Like they I think they were worried that there was like something was gonna kill them before their trigger resolved to like gain the life. And I was like, that's kind of funny.
All right.
Pre-modern gets 7 unks out of 10.
I've been like looking for the card on Gatherer and I literally can't find it. But like one of my good friends from Washington who's like super into the format was like showing me like a Temur midrange deck that he played. Essentially, the card that like there's a card that says like you can search your library for 3 cards with flashback and put them in your graveyard, and with Call of the Herd, which is like arguably one of the best threats. Like 3/3 Elephant is arguably one of the best threats of the format, right?
Because
Because it's a spell that says like the first half of it is like make a 3/3 Elephant, and the flashback's like make a 3/3 Elephant. I was like,
That's
so you're just
crazy.
telling me you just demonic tutored for 3 threats and put them all in your graveyard? And I can't find the name of the card. I mean, hopefully somebody can find it. I'm like really digging deep to try to find this card, but like it. I was like, this format's not real. Like I can't take this seriously at this point.
I also got to play Paper Vintage yesterday, which was pretty cool because one of our friends decided he wanted to own some vintage cards. So he played Maker Shops. I played Dredge with Bazaars, and that was actually really fun. And then for some reason, someone else that was there also had their vintage deck on them, so I also got to play vintage against them. So catch me at Eternal Weekend 2026. I'm becoming a vintage expert.
Alrighty then.
Hey, and you got some rounds in this weekend on Gobgat too.
That's
Nick
right.
finally
Yeah,
got to
that's
play
that's
Gobgat.
right.
That's a nice closing statement as we hit our hour mark. Ron, you want to tell us about your mono red Dan?
Yeah, I decided to spend some big money, put a deck together that the whole deck cost me under $30 for everything. And it's no creatures, but it does have 14 copies of Goblin Gathering. And yeah, it's red Dan. Make some goblins, have some fun.
Gobgat. Gat
Yeah,
is the first three letters of
yeah.
gathering.
Now
Okay.
you get it.
Now I got it.
Yeah. But so far, like every RCQ, and yesterday at the pre-modern, in between rounds, if you're waiting, whatever, people are like, oh yeah, let's try that out. Everybody that's played it loves it. I even had a couple people that were like, do you have that on Moxfield? Can I get a copy of that? I'm going to put that together.
Got to teach Ron the basic land game. That's a good one to
Yeah.
play in between rounds.
We played the basic land game a little with
Yeah,
Ron.
Stanley and I have played that. Yep.
It's nice
That's kind of fun.
It's nice to have options. My basic land game, Jacob, I don't know if you know, it's themed. It's dual decks, Tarkir versus Eldraine. So I got, instead of mountains, I have Monastery Swiftspear in one deck and Bonecrusher Giant in the other. And then, like, instead of plains, I have, no. Oh, no. I'm old.
No, I've been exposed.
I'm so old. What's
What
the
color?
name of it?
What color?
The white one.
Seeker of the Way.
Seeker of the Way. Oh god. All right. So we're gonna wrap it up, but so it's so bad. Yeah, Gobgat was fun. Did you add? Are you gonna add the more utility lands like we talked about?
Yeah, I just haven't had a chance to dig through and see what I have, but I think that'll add a little bit to it.
Yeah.
I actually lost to Den in a game, and that was the first game where I actually flat out lost to Utility Land.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, in all of our games, it felt like whoever had the utility lands had a pretty stiff advantage. That and like if you had both pyroclasms, you just kind of like win because you control both. So maybe there's an argument to have more or less pyroclasms. Well, definitely not less. Anyway, Gobgat's pretty fun. Red Dan if you're into that. But anyone else want to sneak anything in before we wrap it up?
No. Hope everyone enjoys the BNR. That nothing's gonna happen, but hope everyone enjoys.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Heavy Play exists. Nice shirt or hoodie. I have a shirt. Go Heavy Play. I don't have anything else to say. Have a good day. And when you play Magic the Gathering, good luck, gay. And we'll catch you on the next one. We'll talk more about Modern next time as we get ready for Modern season. And if you haven't already, I have a Modern 101 series going on YouTube. They're great videos. Modern is an intimidating format. It took me a long time to fall in love with it, so I am trying to break it down in a way that's digestible for newcomers to the format so that you too can fall in love with it. Because it is great. There's a lot to consume to get there, but it is worth the investment in the learning curve. So if you haven't already, check those out. Metafy also exists, and we'll see you next time. Everybody's waving. We're waving. We're waving.
We're waving. We're waving.